heard rumors about this, but I didn't know that it was actually a fact. But yes, it turns out to be true. Nicole Galloway, Missouri State Auditor, here in studio. And is it true, Miss Auditor, that you claim to be a Democrat who is actually in Jefferson City?
Yes, we do exist.
Okay, so you are the one down in Jefferson City. You were appointed by Governor Nixon after Tom Schweik's passing.
Yes, that's right.
Did you know Tom Schweik at all?
You know, I did not, but I did follow his work because I came from local government. I was treasurer in Boone County before this position, and I'm a CPA and an auditor by trade, a fraud examiner, and so I would follow the work of the office. You know, one thing I always appreciated about Auditor Schweik is that he was trying to bring the office and the results of the audits and explain it in a way that people could understand, bring this office closer to people that it impacted. I have a lot of respect for what he did and share a lot of his values.
Auditors just count up the numbers. You don't have any authority to do anything, just sort of add up the numbers and give the report and let the other bodies deal with the effects of that.
You know, we see audits getting results quite often. You know, we do have our findings and our recommendations that ultimately the folks that we're auditing are responsible for implementing. But if we find, for instance, potential criminal misconduct, we'll turn our results over to law enforcement for them to decide if there's going to be a prosecution or criminal violations of law. You know, and we've also seen institutions change for the better because of our audits, and that's something I'm really proud of.
We're going to get to some of these audits here in a second, but overall, there are people listening to this who think that Missouri, and as well as all state government and local governments, everything is waste, fraud, and abuse, and nothing is ever where it's supposed to be, and there's so much waste and mismanagement that nothing's getting done, and all of our tax dollars are being wasted.
You know, we audit all levels of government, from local governments all the way up to large state agencies, and I hear that frustration a lot. You know, we have a whistleblower hotline where folks can call in and tell us what they see in their local government, state agencies, how they're being treated, and we've had 100% increase in our whistleblower calls over the past year, and I think it is because people are feeling that frustration. They're feeling, you know, that government isn't responsive to them, is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Look, government exists to serve its people, not itself, and people are extremely frustrated with government right now.
And audits are something, though, that people need to know they take time, right?
Right.
Who's calling the whistleblower hotline? Is it people inside state government who's seeing malfeasance, or is it people who are outside of government who are like, hey, you know what? There's a road that's taken 6 years to build. Something's wrong here.
It's a combination. So you can call, it's citizens that are concerned about what's happening, but we encourage anyone to call. And we have had calls from people working inside of government to our hotline. But the important thing to know is that you can call us anonymously. You can be an anonymous whistleblower. If you are working in an agency or local government, if you live in a small town and you are a whistleblower, it is very difficult to do so. Everybody's going to know who you are. So you can call us anonymously and give us this information, and we can incorporate it in the audit process, do an investigation, and, you know, to highlight those issues.
You were on the show a while back at some point talking about the tickets and the amount of tickets revenue for small towns. Some pretty sobering numbers in terms of these small towns in North County who are breaking the law when it comes to revenue generated from tickets.
That's right. I mean, we have found hundreds of thousands of dollars in improper and illegal fees charged to citizens, fees that these municipal courts cannot be charging and are collecting on citizens. So we have found those issues. We've also found just millions owed to the state because they have collected too much in the municipal revenue of minor traffic violations like you're talking about. And this is an issue that we have found in St. Louis, but it's something we have found statewide. There are other municipal courts across the state that are having these same problems.
Anything being done about it? It's great that you've noticed it, but is anybody else doing anything about it?
You know, there's legislation. There's also a lawsuit pending regarding Senate Bill 5,
right,
which is how a lot of this is referred to. But there have been changes at the highest court levels, putting in different rules and trying to get these courts into order. You know, we'll see how this lawsuit turns out. But these things need to be fixed, right? Because we can't have municipal governments and courts abusing their citizens.
Nicole Galloway is our guest. She is the state auditor. Now, I'm getting ready to hand in my taxes. How long before you let your grubby little hands off of my money and I get it back in a tax refund?
Hands.
My hands are not on the money. What I'm making sure is that you get it back
she's
quickly.
working for
Yes, I'm on your
you.
side here.
She wants you to get your refund
Five,
soon.
Right.
Five is on my side. I don't know if you're on my side.
So listen, when you file your income tax return with the Department of Revenue, they have 45 days to process your refund and get that money back to you. It's your money. If they don't process it within 45 days, then they owe you interest on your money. And so we're auditing that process from last year and this year, this current year, to see, are they doing it? Are they efficient with their process? Are they getting you your refund money that's owed?
This is a shorter time than it used to be, right?
Right. The law changed in 2015. It used to be 90 days. It is now 45 days. And what we have seen just in this year is that an increase in the filing of income tax revenues, but a slowdown of those refunds being processed. And so, again, it's your money. You owe it. Plus, it's your tax dollars that are going to pay that interest when the Department of Revenue isn't doing their job correctly and getting those refunds out to citizens.
What's the interest rate? 45%?
No,
50%?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, right. So, but when, we have about a $500 million budget hole coming in the next fiscal year that we're planning for. If we're spending money on interest because Department of Revenue isn't processing these things fast enough, that's waste. That's abuse.
But what about, because there's a lot of fraud when it comes to tax returns. And so the faster you do it, are you missing and not able to get the people who are cheating the system and or somebody who stole my identity?
Of course, we are concerned about fraud. Of course, we are concerned about identity theft. But those are systematic processes that are in place to ensure that doesn't happen. And if those systematic processes aren't working, that's something that needs to be tweaked so we're not paying that interest and you're getting your money faster.
Are you going to run for re-election?
Yes, I'm running for election in 18.
In 18, so you're up. So you were
2018.
appointed, you were appointed, what, 2 years ago?
Right, back in April of 2015.
All right, and so you and Claire McCaskill are the only statewide elected Democrats.
That's correct.
Yeah. I always find it interesting that Democrat, Republican, when it comes to the auditor, do you count liberally as opposed to the conservative Republicans, right?
Though this is an elected office, I view the role of auditor as unconcerned with politics, right? I audit Democrats, I audit Republicans. We are tough, but we are fair and thorough. And, we have been that way from the beginning and will continue to be. This is an independent office. That's what people want out of their state auditor.
When you called Governor Nixon, did he return your calls?
Did you ever have to call Governor Nixon?
Well, because we call him and he would never come on the show.
I don't think he likes us.
The mayor of Ferguson called him. He never called him back. We're just wondering if he called anybody back.
I have met with the governor before, yes.
Okay.
I know. I like how you answer. You sidestepped the question. When you called him, did he call you back?
I have not picked up the phone and called him directly.
There's not been a reason for you to
yeah,
have to.
right.
So your people call him.
Right.
All right. Fair enough. Nicole Galloway, you're always welcome here. Thanks for checking in. Have safe travels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
726 here, Big 550 KTRS. Galmish & Sons. That's all you need to